start.
So we can start. Ladies and gentlemen, Minister Damjanovic, it's a great pleasure for me to be here together with all of you. I would like to welcome you to this session, which will focus on the innovation agenda for Western Balkans. I know that for many of you that's not a new idea, but I think that now the time is coming to act and to define together with you what are the next initiatives that we need, that we have some strengths and where we need to continue to build capacities and just to shape together our common future. First, I would like really to encourage you to share your ideas today about the priorities, the deliverables. And before I give you more details about the innovation agenda for Western Balkans, I would like to share with you some thoughts and why do we need to engage in this co-creation process. First, because we are living an extraordinary time, and this crisis has demonstrated that we have many challenges to overcome. And this makes strengthened regional and European cooperation indispensable and also give us the momentum to achieve our goals to the future. We need to come out of it stronger and ready for the increased global competition and global challenges such as digital and green transition or food and energy solutions, just to name a few. This is why it is more important than ever that we increase the investment in research, education, culture, youth and innovation. Because I'm always saying that's not anymore an investment in our future, it's in our present, and we all need that. Second, because the European Union is the world's biggest training partner of the Western Balkans. We know, and for me it's very clear, that Western Balkans are part of Europe. We really have a very good experiences together by the large scientific publications to our cooperation with different partners in the region. For me, what is important is not to talk about only about European Union as an investor, but as a partner, as a real ally that we have continued to work together. I'm very pleased that researchers from the Western Balkans are well integrated in our European scientific community. The region performs better every year in our flagship initiatives like Horizon 2020, Erasmus+, and Creative Europe. And as you know, Horizon 2020 and Erasmus+ are the biggest programs supporting research, education, training, youth and sport in the world. And both programs connect stakeholders from Western Balkans, in Western Balkans, with key partners in Europe and beyond. And I would like really here to underline that it's quite impressive how every year the good results are more and more. Because if I compare, for example, within the framework of our Horizon 2020 program, with the framework program 7, there has been a significant 50% increase of participation from the Western Balkans. There are more than 800 projects participation and 480 signed grants with partners from the region. Opportunities. We are talking here about opportunities. Opportunities for our students, for our researchers, for our innovators. And that's why I'm very glad that thanks to our Erasmus+ program, we have more than 37,000 people in exchanges between the European Union and the Western Balkans. And now I can only say that during the next period, you have a strong supporter, me as Commissioner for Innovation, Research, Education, Culture and Youth. I think that we have here a very good ground, but now it's time really to expand the scope of our activities, to provide new opportunities for the region in education, with vocational training, with non-formal education. When we talk about researchers, to continue to help them to establish close links with business, with entrepreneurs. So there is a lot of ideas. So let us look beyond 2020. What has been achieved so far is remarkable, And it's evident that the European-funded programs not only mean real added value for every European member state, but also for every associated country, and especially for the Western Balkans. However, there is room for improvement. Let's talk openly about this. What's about the public investment in research, innovation, and education? 1% of the GDP, it's achievable. Let's listen to you. That will be a pleasure for me. What we would like to say here, that every investment, public or private, it's about benefits in order to have competitiveness, growth, and to strengthen the resilience of the society. At the same time, actions are needed in the field of higher education in order to better link education and skill supply with labor market demand. I would also like to emphasize the importance of cooperation between governments and businesses, academia and civil society. And we can see that EIT is with us, a perfect example what that means, this community since the beginning between the education, research, innovation, civil society and private sector. And I think that is particularly relevant for the region, where the economies are in a process of establishing and implementing their smart specialization strategies. We are very proud to see that there is a lot of advancement. And what is important for me as Commissioner is really to continue in this direction, but to see how we can build synergies, how we can connect the different initiatives in the region and with the European Union. I would like to insist on the regional cooperation. It's crucial for increasing the competitiveness of the region, but as well to strengthen the people-to-people exchanges, including academic, non-formal, cultural and sport mobilities. And let's be clear, regional cooperation is not a substitute for European integration, but rather an important preparatory step, a rather added value of this approach that we share together. And I would like to mention here another important forthcoming initiative of the Commission. You already heard this yesterday together with Commissioner Verhelyi. We announced the European Economic and Investment Plan for the region. It will recognize the significance of stimulating the region's long-term recovery. Here we have instruments of pre-accession. We have different tools at our disposal, but what is important for me is today already to start to identify synergies, how we can really use different tools in order to achieve bigger impact, in order to accelerate some of the processes, because above all, it's about strengthening the resilience of the region, and strong Western Balkans is strong European Union. That's my conviction. Yes. And that brings me to another key point. We need to work together in order to see how to attract investment, how to improve human capital, how to support startups, and how to create simply the conditions for our talent, not to retain them in the region, but to give them tools to choose, to develop their ideas in their country, in their region, in Europe. I think that here we must change our narrative, and we can do that together, because only by working together we can address common challenges and we can provide common solutions. And that's exactly at this moment, after all these questions, that I can see the place of the future agenda on innovation, research, education, culture, youth and sport. I want this Western Balkans agenda to strengthen the innovation capacity of the region, to raise the quality of its education and training systems, including the readiness for the digital transformation, while creating the right conditions to fully exploit the untapped potential in the region. It's amazing the potential that this region has. And I think that it's time to give more visibility, to assure the right support in the critical moment, in the right moment, in order to help all our talents to strive. Because you can see, talents coming from Western Balkans are, for me, our talents. And I believe that this agenda can be implemented through three main axes: political, regional, and thematic. They can set the framework for cooperation with the Western Balkans, while very important lessons learned from all of us after this crisis, remaining flexible. Flexible with a view to adapting the actions to new developments or emerging priorities. And the agenda, for me, is the base, to make a stimulus, to make visible the potential of the region, to contribute to a number of not only identified priorities, but to a number of solutions. And let me just mention a few examples. Through the planned actions and deliverable, we would like to create new opportunities for students, researchers, innovators, and cultural operators. Cultural heritage is huge in the region. Please think more and more about cultural and creative sectors, because there is a huge potential here. Even in Europe, 44% of our GDP, 8 million jobs. It's extraordinary. And I think that it's not only a question to think about researchers, innovators, students, but how to help them gain access to new markets, to become more competitive, to build sustainable prosperity. Because I fully believe that if we succeed to assure the access to information, to networks, to know-how, if we are here at the right moment, we give us just more chances to succeed. And that's why I can say, count on my firm support. You can always, and even now, see that there is a continuation with the digital agenda for Western Balkans. I was really proud digital commissioner when we created this, and I will continue to support the implementation of the digital agenda for Western Balkans, because the region's transition to a digital economy will greatly benefit citizens by providing jobs, better services, and faster economic growth. So let me finish by saying that I count on you, and count on your ideas, on your creativity, in your experience and your determination and willingness to advance together. We'll build a strengthened list of proposals for the region in all policies under my portfolio, and I encourage you really to share your ideas with me and my team. To conclude, I must say that I'm really proud that the European Commission will continue to give its full support to help the region realize its full economic potential. I welcome the shared vision of economic growth through cooperation, through prioritization of projects to promote the regional economic development, and together to advance to our common goals, the European Green Deal and the digital agenda. And I look very, very much forward to our continuous fruitful cooperation and commitment to a successful association in all the programs in my portfolio: Horizon Europe, Erasmus+, Creative Europe, European Solidarity Corps. I count on you. So thank you very much, and I would like really to wish you a very fruitful discussions.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. So, first of all, I would like to thank Commissioner Gabriel for opening our session, which is dedicated to innovation agenda for Western Balkans. I also need to thank Commissioner Gabriel, who initiated this agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to be moderator of this session. My name is Sanja Damjanović. I am the Minister of Science of Montenegro. The Western Balkans are a large and integral part of Europe, but need strong support to develop sustainable economy. We very much appreciate the fact that our region is strategic priority of the European Commission. The association of our region to the EU framework program has shown to be a strong instrument of systematic changes in our countries, giving us a special strength to develop our national strategies. And this can be confirmed by the fact that all Western Balkan countries are presently working on smart specialization strategies and policies which are in line with the EU priorities for green, digitalized, socially cohesive Europe set up by the President von der Leyen. Today, we will discuss about achievements from association up to date, expectation from the next framework program, but also how to overcome the challenges like large gap which still exists between Eastern and Western Europe. I'm pleased to introduce to you the panelists of my session, and these are Mrs. Florenza Haci, Director for Development Programs and Program Manager for Regional Economic Area from the Prime Minister's Office of Albania, Mr. Jovan Despotovski, Director of the Fund for Innovation and Technology Development of North Macedonia, Professor Viktor Nedović, Assistant Minister within the Ministry of Education, Science and Technological Development of Serbia, Mr. Martin Kern, Director of European Institute of Innovation and Technology, and Professor Aneta Skočov, Dean of the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering in North Macedonia. Before starting with the question, we will first hear video messages from the ministers of the Western Balkans, and that will be preceded by short videos prepared for this session.
Dear Commissioner Maria Gabriel, dear colleagues Minister, distinguished panelists, I would take this opportunity to express my great appreciation to Commissioner Gabriel for increased attention and support which has been given to North Macedonia and the Western Balkan region in this period of health and economic crisis to keep stability and to stay competitive in the area of research, innovation and education. We live in a time when science and innovation are ever more vital to our societies and economies in the world of rapidly circulating capital and people. Science and innovation are replacing other resources for economical growth, while the education can increasingly become the foundation for individual prosperity and social mobility. The COVID-19 pandemic has revealed and confirmed the need for multidisciplinary approach that goes beyond national borders and strengthens regional and international integration based on science and innovation. Thus, the coordinated efforts became essential. The government of North Macedonia will strengthen effort at national level to improve our research and innovation capacity and will take additional measures to facilitate and to boost the participation of national knowledge and innovation communities in this program. I would like to reaffirm the commitment of the government of North Macedonia to continue its participation in Horizon Europe. And finally, the Republic of North Macedonia very much welcomes and fully supports the Commissioner Gabriel initiative for setting up an agenda for the Western Balkans on innovation, research, culture, education and sport. Mutually tailored agenda upon the challenges in line with the European prosperity will for certain encourage the region to step forward firmly toward innovative, digital, sustainable and competitive transformation of the economies, thus reducing the brain drain and improving the exchange of know-how of researchers, innovators and businesses.
Time smo postigli da imamo vrlo jasno rešenu situaciju kod finansiranja mladih i uopšte svih istraživača, ali i da se povećaju značajno ulaganja u sistem nauke. Od 2015. do 2019. godine kroz redovne državna sredstva, kroz IPE i kroz mnoge druge izvore, povećanje u izdvajanju za nauku se podiglo za 35,8%. Takođe, zajednički rad širih društvenih slojeva u oblasti nauke i visokog obrazovanja su imali za cilj da se izradi strategija vezano za ukupno obrazovanje i nauku od 2021. do 2027. godine. Tako da tu imamo kompletno regulisan inovacioni sistem, imamo ambicije proširivanja određenih kapaciteta, izgradnju tehnoloških parkova i o tome se dosta već uradilo u prethodnom periodu. Ono što je jako važno, u međunarodnim okvirima Srbija je značajan partner u okviru Erasmus Plus projekta, Horizonta 2020 i drugih. U Horizontu 2020 imamo 503 participacije na 350 projekata, a inače približno smo govorili do sada 114 miliona evra. Prosečna uspešnost Srbije je 13%, što je jako blizu proseka Evropske unije koja iznosi 15,7%. Nadamo se da će Evropska unija imati u Srbiji značajnog partnera i mladi ljudi će moći da ostvare sve svoje aktivnosti kroz mobilnost Erasmusa i drugih projekata. Želimo da se u narednim projektima, kao što je Horizont Evropa i mnogim drugima, naši istraživači pojave kao deo svokupnog istraživačkog korpusa u svetu.
So, thanks for statement from my colleagues, ministers, and now we are going to proceed with questions. My first question for the panelists. What has the association to Horizon 2020 brought to your country? What was the impact on scientific excellence and science for business? Florenza, the floor is yours. And you have 1 minute and 30 seconds. We can stop everything, but not the time. Please respect the time.
Yes, thank you. First, I would like just to thank you once again, the Commissioner Gabriel, for the kind words and the encouraging words and the support so far. Regarding the question, I would like to say that the Association of Albania in the framework program so far in the field of scientific research and innovation has an exceptional value for the research community of our country. Currently, the amount of funding they benefit from these programs constitute a considerable amount of funding in this field in our country. In addition, the numerous partnerships within the projects won under these programs have assisted many different institutions to exchange contemporary experiences with their counterparts in the European research market. Now, if we were to do a comparison between the previous program and the Horizon 2020, we would see that there are significant improvements through these years. There is an increase of about 160% in the number of applications from our country. Also, the number of projects that have won has almost doubled, and the number of funds received has more than doubled. But still, there is a lot of room for improvement, and especially in order to increase the number of applications and in order to include the private sector and increase the number of businesses which benefit from these funds. So this is a challenge that we have to see for the future. And I do believe that more focus should be put into technical, scientific, bilateral cooperation within our countries, but also with EU, and in order to increase the opportunities for successful applications in the EU framework programs.
Okay, thanks a lot, Florenza. Jovan, the same question to you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Minister Damjanovic. It's a pleasure always to talk with you and all the distinguished colleagues from the region. Commissioner Gabriel mentioned some very encouraging figures about the percentages of increase of use from the region, but I will agree with my colleague from Albania saying that the full potential of what the EU offers for the region is not utilized. Meaning that we, on our side, should do more to utilize this and what is offered actually in the new financial perspective 21-27. In our case, in the case of North Macedonia, what we try to do is to build capacities through participation in different national programs, because for our companies, but also for universities, it's very important to build capacities and to work in models which will actually simulate how the EU model should work. The National Innovation Fund has significantly increased support particularly for businesses in the past 3 years. Over 40 million euros have been invested into different innovation programs in comparison to 1 million for the previous 3-year period between 2015-2017. And in addition to that, we have also piloted different programs in the area of building, I would say, pipeline. And when we speak about pipeline, we speak about human capacities. So we have introduced a variety of programs in the area of young researchers. So over 100 pupils from 100 elementary and secondary schools in North Macedonia are currently benefiting from these grant schemes. We have also recently introduced a program on the part of stimulating cooperation between the academia and the businesses, but the focus is given now to the academia. So I think that all these measures will actually contribute for our universities and for our businesses to be even more successful in utilizing what Commissioner Gabriel actually kindly presented to us today in terms of what is there for us in the period 21-27. I can talk, of course, more about the regional cooperation, but we can do that on the
Okay, thank you so much, Johan. Now, Victor, the floor is yours. The same question.
Thank you, Lady Minister. It's a great pleasure for me as well to be the part of this session today, and I would like also to thank to the Commissioner Gabriel for the encouraging words related to achievements of the region and for the future of the region and for the agenda for the region, innovation one. And concerning Horizon 2020, as our minister already stated, Serbia is rather successful in this program. Even in these few days in between of the recording of his speech and nowadays, we even have more. We are at the moment at over 116 million of contracted money for the projects, over 500 participations, over 350 signed projects. That means it's a huge participation of different organizations, and one of the major benefits of this is the sharing of knowledge, the sharing of experience, the sharing of research results, and the establishment of this always necessary contact and communication with the business sector through different programs. We are the most of the success we have in societal challenges, but the first after is actually industrial leadership, particularly in ICT field. That means this part is going rather well through the program, and we would like very much to continue that direction by the measures we are introducing at the moment. And we are, if I may say on that way, in the deep reform process of research, science, and innovation in Serbia, with the aim to establish these necessary connections of science with and for society.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor. Martin, we would like to hear your opinion from the perspective of 8. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thanks to Commissioner Gabriel for outlining the cooperation vision for the Western Balkans in the field of research and innovation. And Sanja, I would like to thank you personally for demonstrating research and innovation leadership, not just in your country, but also in the Western Balkans as a whole, by bringing together and supporting cooperation in the field of research, education, and innovation. This cooperation is exactly what the EIT stands for. And right now, for us, the work is very much focused on bringing the European Union and the Western Balkans together to support a sustainable crisis response, which is what all of us need. So the EIT, as Europe's largest innovation ecosystem with now over 2,000 partners, has worked hard in the last 10 years to bring research to the market. So over 1,000 products and services has been brought like that to the market. We supported hundreds of startups, and altogether they attracted over 3 billion euros of investment. Most recently, we allocated 60 million euros for the immediate crisis response. So supporting innovations which can help us now to fight the crisis and reduce the impact of the pandemic, but also the economic recovery. So we're looking for supporting innovators in the region. And that brings me to some examples. For example, in hospitals, EIT's crisis response mechanisms allows to reduce the mortality rate of COVID-19 patients up to 50%. Now, that's very, very important to disseminate the results of those innovations also to the Western Balkans. And that's sometimes where we still face barriers, not just financial ones, but also regulatory ones. So the EIT comes in here and can help Western Balkan countries, innovators, universities, research organizations, and businesses to interconnect, to internationalize, and to work together on challenges such as climate change, circular economy, and energy-related innovation. That's already happening. So first activities are taking place, but we see much, much more extensive cooperation potential for the future.
Okay, thank you, Martin. We want to see more kicks in Western Balkan, 8 kicks. So last but not least, Atanas, the floor is yours, 1 minute, 30 seconds. I think we lost Atanas. So I think we lost Atanas, but we will now proceed with the second question. We know what smart specialization strategy is bringing to EU countries, how important it is for smart growth in economy, and we are very happy that all Western Balkan countries are in the process of developing smart specialization strategy. My second question to you in that respect, what do you expect from the new framework program Horizon Europe? And I kindly ask you have 1 minute to answer. If we start again with the same order, Florenza, please, floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. So Albania has worked, as all the other countries of the region, has worked extensively during the past 2.5 years on preparing the smart specialization strategy with the support, of course, of the JRC. The S3 team has currently revised the roadmap and reviewed their priorities and next steps, considering the latest developments regarding the COVID-19 crisis. But we in the Western Balkans, we all know the importance of such strategies and are invested into moving forward with the drafting phase, and not only that, but also in the implementation phase once they are approved. I believe that the focus now should be the regional perspective in such a process. The Western Balkans should be considered as one region when it comes to the economic development. In this context, we have also the regional economic area that we are trying to move forward. So we should try to identify regional priority sectors along with the national ones. So the idea is for each country to specialize in an area where it has more human and financial advantages and potential, so that the whole region benefits and increases the comparative advantage. So if we are going to ask what we expect from the new framework program, I would say regional upscaling for successful innovation fund mechanisms and the perspective of establishing a regional innovation fund, co-design of innovative policy tools to assist policymakers develop more effective innovation policies, and I am one of them. Open innovation hubs to include various actors for free circulation of knowledge, network of technology transfer offices and experienced teams to commercially exploit the region's research findings, and also promoting regional cooperation among businesses and innovation leaders. So both of them, two of them, as a powerful tool for economic recovery.
Okay, thank you, Florenza. Jovan, the floor is yours. 1 minute, please.
Thank you. I think we should congratulate, of course, our colleagues from Montenegro and Serbia for actually finalizing and adopting their smart specialization strategies. The rest of the countries definitely need to follow on that. I think the smart specialization strategies are very important to establish a common ground between all the Western Balkan 6, so we can actually design on regional level what should be the priorities for economic development. And when I say this because this is an important input to some of the initiatives that also Florenza mentioned, something that we have been discussing actually for the past 6-7 months, and this is the Regional Innovation Fund initiative, which actually started within a EU-funded project run by the Regional Cooperation Council and World Economic Forum. And I think what is our key expectation from the EU in the coming period, when you ask this question, is that actually they should support bottom-up initiatives, and the Regional Innovation Fund and some of the other initiatives that Florenza mentioned is basically a bottom-up initiative, which will be something which is really important for the countries of the region, and something that we should jointly work on to make it happen. Of course, it's very important that the Regional Innovation Fund creates synergies with existing EU programs in the region, but I think there is a vast potential for this, so we should all work to see this materialize soon.
Thank you so much. Since Atanas is now with us, I would give now 2 minutes to Atanas to tell us achievements from Horizon 2020 and expectation from the new Horizon Europe program. 2 minutes, Atanas.
Thank you so much, Sanya. I'm sorry for this interruption. I don't know what has happened, but anyway, now the floor is here and I'm here, so I would like to present what we have done up to now. First of all, about Horizon 2020, I have to say that Horizon 2020 was, and the next one is going to be our open windows for the science, research, and also for the networking. In a country as Macedonia it is, but I believe also is the same case with the other Western Balkan countries, where the GDP, where less than 1% or even less than or around 0.1% of the GDP is the budget that is dedicated for science and research. The access to Horizon funds for the scientists, researchers, and also for the research institutions, as well as for the companies, is from tremendous importance. So how we have seen Horizon 2020 as our key driver, actually, of transition growth of the country as knowledge and science-based growth. So the success rate of our country in the previous program was almost 18%, but for Horizon 2020 was 11%, which is approximately the average of the associated countries of the EU. The total was 95 participation, 655 eligible proposals, and 787 applications. Most of those projects actually were distributed among the universities, almost 20 projects, the City of Skopje 5 project, the Academy of Science 5, and the rest was among the other research institutions. What is important is that all those projects were somehow in the field of energy, renewable energy, infrastructure, climate and environment, health and inclusive and also innovative society. All those are very important topics, especially for getting toward the sustainability, toward the sustainable growth of the country. What I'm always want to say that the previous program and the new Horizon Europe must be our S-Tiger. Tiger acronym for scientific or science, technology, innovation for the greater economic revitalization of our country, North Macedonia, but also for the Western Balkan countries.
Atanas, I need to warn you with the time.
Yes, okay, thanks.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Victor, 1 minute. It's now yours.
Thank you again, Lady Minister. Yes, concerning the smart specialization strategy itself, we are in the phase of development of the action plan at the moment, but even based on the strategy itself, we already started to implement it. I fully agree with previous colleagues that took a floor today that we need a regional agenda concerning the smart specialization strategy now. That means to develop a regional value chain that is based and will be based on the common priorities in each of the economy in the region. Based on that, we could jointly apply for some additional means for Horizon Europe, but IPA 3 and some other sources for future development of our economies based on the knowledge, based on the science, based on the research. I would like also to mention that our plans are very, very well articulated related to the Horizon Europe as the next framework program. We submitted a few months ago some ideas, some proposals for the innovation agenda to the Commissioner Gabriel. We underlined the necessity to develop a Western Balkan regional research foundation or fund. That is initiative that came from the Berlin process. Then we also suggested the development of the regional data center, and we proposed the Institute of Physics to host such institution for all our economies. Then a regional platform for open science.
Yeah,
for open
Victor,
science.
you need to watch the time.
Just one sentence more. Regional aid hubs. We absolutely think it is necessary to connect universities with the economies, and we are in that context communicating a lot with aid for the future development of this, and submitted that proposal through IPA.
Okay, thank you, Victor. And now, Martin, your view, please, from 8. 1 minute.
To have the maximum impact, it is indeed essential that the strategies in the region, in the Western Balkans, are aligned with those of the EU programs and have a very focused approach. For the next strategy under Horizon Europe, the EIT is foreseen to grow and to become stronger, as the European Commission has proposed to not just only increase our budget, but also our mandate, and also to embed the EIT better within the other EU programs, and also to create more synergies with the national strategies and national efforts. So the scene is set very, very strongly to enhance the cooperation. Our own agenda will be very ambitious. Among others, we will have very strong plans to increase our outreach and the support to regional capacity building, including with a big priority on the Western Balkans. Balkans. We also aim to create a new innovation community for creativity and culture, which was also a focus area mentioned already by Commissioner Gabriel. And our concrete activities in the Western Balkans to deliver on such a strategy would mean more participation of universities, research organizations, startups, businesses in the EIT's existing 8 knowledge and innovation communities, the creation of hubs on the ground, so to have concrete entry points and to embed the EIT in the national innovation ecosystems, and also to help to strengthen the capacity so that more great ideas, more innovators from the region can grow and can become success stories.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would like to thank all panelists for valuable information. Now I turn to audience and invite audience to ask a question. So we receive several questions, but time will allow only for one. So I will pick up myself one of the questions. So the question is, how can Europe better interact with stakeholders in the Western Balkans to facilitate the transition to a knowledge-based society and flourish R&I ecosystem? Who would like to answer this question? But don't take so much time. Victor? Okay.
Thank you, Stanja. I would like to pass one very important message, I think, concerning that question and concerning general future development based on innovation in the region. We really need to develop further on knowledge society. All further investments in infrastructure, in the road infrastructure, in the bridges, in all necessary infrastructure in the region have to be based on the future development of the knowledge society in our communities, on the national level, but also on the regional level. It is just one important message from our side. Future development of knowledge society is so important for us. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. So I will now invite panelists to make concluding remarks. So we start with Florence.
Yes. So I think that after all, we should not forget that we are living in a really bad situation regarding the COVID crisis. So the COVID crisis has redefined our habits, whole industries, and has brought innovative business models to the forefront. So this is also a good idea now. The post-COVID reality will require a new thinking. So based on open sharing of knowledge and information for introduction of innovative policy measures to assist the various industries and sectors. So the focus should be more on collaborative efforts of research and businesses aimed at delivering innovative results that contribute to the development of each of our economies and the region as a whole, also in line with the EU's forthcoming Horizon Europe program and also an innovation agenda for the Western Balkans.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now we will change order. Atanas, concluding remarks from your side.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you so much. Actually, how I see and what I expect from the new agenda that the Commissioner Gabriel has proposed, and also with the new Horizon Europe 21-27, I would like to see as much as possible Macedonian researchers and research institutions to be included in the collaborative research and innovation projects. And we hope also that the agenda should provide dedicated calls for the Western Balkan countries for research and innovation projects, because we are all somehow connected with the priorities from our smart specialization strategies, like sustainable agriculture, food processing, renewable energy, etc. Because we are
Atanas, I need to warn you, I need also to make concluding remark. So the time is running. So I now invite Martin. 30 seconds, please, because I need to conclude. I need 30 seconds.
The concrete benefits will come to the region if we bring the research results on the market, if the ideas are turned into products and services, and that's how the benefits get to the citizens. EIT is an opportunity to accelerate that process, and it's also an opportunity to prevent the brain drain as the capacity is built in the region, and it keeps the good researchers and businesses there.
Thank you so much, Martin. So I now need to conclude myself. I think what we learn is that fostering regional cooperation is the key to foster economic growth. Let's work together, and what we also see that association is the strong instrument to connect Western Balkan to EU. Finally, I would like to thank to all panelists and all participants and all audience for the great session we had. Thank you very much.